Hello students, myself Vidyalata, working as an assistant professor in CSE department in Vignans deemed to be university. So we have discussed relations in the previous class. So what are the topics we have covered in these relations? Means what is a relation? So we have discussed what is a relation and how we are going to represent those relations in examples we have seen. And next we have seen properties of relations. So here what are the properties we are going to apply for a relation? Yes, the first one is a reflexive property. So here in reflexive property both the ordered pairs elements should be same. That is, if the ordered pair is in the form of A comma A, that means both the elements are same, then we can say that it is a reflexive property. And the second property is symmetric property. So here if we have an ordered pair like A comma B, then B comma A ordered pair should also present in the relation R. Then only we can say that the given relation R satisfies symmetric property. And next, transitive property. If we have an ordered pair like A comma B and then B comma C, then along with those two ordered pairs, A comma C ordered pair should also present in the relation R. Then only we will say that it is satisfying transitive property. And next, if it is irreflexive, that is nothing but the opposite of reflexive property. If the ordered pairs which are satisfying reflexive property are not in the relation R, then we can say that it is directly satisfying irreflexive property. And next, asymmetric property. It is an opposite of symmetric property. That means if A comma B ordered pair present in the relation R, then B comma A ordered pair should not belong to the relation R. Then only we can say that it is satisfying asymmetric property. It is an opposite of symmetric property. Next, in this class, we are going to cover the concepts of operations of relations, representing relations, n-array relations and its applications. So now we will start the concept of operations of relations. So here we have learned that what is a relation. What is a relation? If we have two sets like A and B, here we are going to find the Cartesian product of both the sets. Here the Cartesian product of A cross B will belong to the relation R. See here, in operations of relations, when we are discussing about operations, first we need to take two sets. We need to find the subsets of A cross B. Next, if the two relations from A to B can be combined in any way, that is with the help of operations, then what are the operations we are performing? Union, intersection, difference and symmetric difference. So these are the four operations which we are going to apply on relations to combine in any way. So what is the first one? Union operation. So union, you have undergone all these operations in the case of sets. So here union means in the case of sets we are combining two sets. So in union we are combining the relations with the help of all the ordered pairs. So whatever the ordered pairs we have in A relation and B relation, those all ordered pairs are combined together and placed in one relation, that is R. So that is called as union operation. That means both the ordered pairs which are in both the relations R1 and R2, then those ordered pairs are going to be combined and placed in one relation with the help of union. When comes to intersection, so what we are going to do is, here also we are going to take two relations and in both the relations which ordered pairs are common, then only those ordered pairs are taken into consideration with the help of intersection. And here difference means we are going to subtract the ordered pairs from one relation to another relation. Next, here symmetric difference. So after finding the difference values only we will get symmetric difference. So these all operations we will see in one example. So see here, we have taken a set A equal to 1, 2, 3 and B set as 1, 2, 3, 4. And based on these two sets, we have given in a problem that is R1 relation and another relation is R2. So now for these two relations R1 and R2, we need to combine the operations. So what are the operations we need to perform? Union, intersection, difference, symmetric difference. So here for representing union operation we are using the symbol U, and for representing intersection we are representing inverted U, and next difference, subtraction, that's why we are using the symbol minus symbol here, and then for symmetric difference we are enclosing this symbol. So this symbol indicates we need to find symmetric difference. So now first we will find R1 union R2. So R1 union R2. So here what are the ordered pairs we have in R1? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So we need to take first relation ordered pairs, that is 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And along with this we need to take R2 ordered pairs also. If any ordered pair is common which is already in R1, we will remove that, and other ordered pairs we are going to consider in R1 union R2. So here in R2 what is the first ordered pair? The S, that is 1, 1. So here 1, 1 also already present in R1, so we doesn't take this ordered pair. Next ordered pair is 1, 2. So since it is not present in this R1, we will consider this 1, 2 ordered pair. Next, what is the ordered pair we have? 1, 3. So this ordered pair is also not present in R, so we will consider this in relation. Next, 1, 4. So this is R1 union R2. So what we have done here? We have combined the ordered pairs which present in R1 and then R2. We have combined all the ordered pairs. This is union operation. Next one, R1 intersection R2. We are going to find intersection, that is R1 intersection R2. So how we are going to find R1 intersection R2? The common elements we are going to consider. So what are the common ordered pairs we have in both R1 and R2? Only those elements we are going to consider in intersection operation. So here 1, 1 ordered pair is there. So in R2 also we have 1, 1. So we will consider that ordered pair. Next 2, 2 is there. So here in this we doesn't have 2, 2. So we doesn't consider. And next 3, 3. 3, 3 is also not present in this relation. So we doesn't consider 2, 2 and 3, 3 in R1 intersection R2. So here in intersection if we check one relation, it's enough. That means here we have compared all the ordered pairs with R2. So if we check with one relation also, it is enough. So here only 1, 1 is a common ordered pair we have in intersection operation. Okay. Next, how we are going to find R1 minus R2? That is difference operation. So here R1 minus R2. So how we are going to find here difference operation means whatever the ordered pairs we have in R2 that are common in R1, those should be subtracted from R1 and remaining elements of R1 should be present. So we doesn't represent any ordered pair from R2 in the solution. Only the ordered pairs which are present in R1 we are going to represent, and whatever the common elements in common ordered pairs in both R1 and R2 should be removed. So here in R1, R2, what is the common element, common ordered pair we have? 1, 1. So that should be removed from R1. And we need to represent the remaining elements of R1 only in case of R1 minus R2. So after removing 1, 1, what are the ordered pairs we have? 2, 2 and 3, 3. So these are the ordered pairs which left after subtracting the elements of R2 elements from R1. So here once again see, in R1 minus R2 we are going to subtract the common elements in both the relations, and then remaining, after removing the common elements, what are the remaining elements in R1, those should be represented. Okay. In the next problem, that is R2 minus R1. So here the opposite of this, that is we need to remove the common element and we need to specify the remaining elements of R2 only. We doesn't specify R1 elements. So here now what is R2 minus R1? We need to remove the common element, that is 1 comma 1 should be removed. And what are the remaining elements? 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4. So this is the answer for R2 minus R1. Next, how we are going to find R1 symmetric difference R2? With the help of R1 minus R2 and R2 minus R1, or we have another formula with the help of R1 union R2, R1 intersection R2. So now we will see this. So see here, in R1 union R2 we have combined all the ordered pairs, and next in R1 intersection R2 we have taken only the common element in both the relations. In R1 minus R2 we have subtracted the common ordered pair from R1 and R2, and we have represented only the elements which are left in the first relation, that is R1. And in R2 minus R1 we have removed the common ordered pair, and then we have represented the remaining elements of R2, that is the first relation which we have in the problem. Next, what is the last one? That is R1 symmetric difference R2. So here how we are going to find? With the help of these two, or with the help of these two. So here one formula is R1 union R2 minus R1 intersection R2. With the help of this we can get the answer like, so whatever the ordered pairs we have in R1 union R2 should be combined with R1 intersection R2. So here R1 union R2 ordered pairs are this one, 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. And R1 intersection R2 is 1 comma 1. So here the formula is we need to subtract. So here what are the common elements we have in R1 union R2 and R1 intersection R2 should be first removed, and the remaining elements of R1 union R2 should be represented. So here R1 intersection R2 means 1 comma 1. So this ordered pair should be removed from R1 union R2 and the remaining elements should be present. So here we have represented the remaining elements. Other formula which we are using for finding symmetric difference is R1 minus R2 union R2 minus R1. So we can use this formula also. So here check this, R1 minus R2 means 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. So 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 are present here, and union means combining the R2 minus R1 ordered pairs also. In R2 minus R1 we have 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4. So we have in this. So we can use both the formulas for finding symmetric difference. So now take the assignment, a practice example on this operations. So same procedure, we have two relations R1, R2, and these are the sets we have considered for writing the relations R1. In the problem itself they have given R1 and R2. We need to find R1 union R2, union operation, intersection, difference R1 minus R2, R2 minus R1, and then the symmetric difference. So with the help of the previous example you can do this problem. Next, so here in relation, how we are going to represent relation, how we are going to find the Cartesian product of the relation, and how we what are the properties we are going to satisfy, and what are the operations we are going to perform on relations we have seen. So the relation can be a complementary relation or complement relation. That is how we are going to represent the complement relation means, so we have R as a relation with the help of A and B sets. So how we are going to represent the complement relation for that relation R? So the complementary relation will be represented with R bar, and here that relation will be looks like this. If in the relation R we have an ordered pair like A comma B, then that ordered pair, how we are going to represent the complement relation means, suppose if we have R equal to 1 comma 1, 2 comma 1, 3 comma 1. So in complementary relation, how we are going to represent the relation means, the ordered pairs which does not belong to the relation R, only those ordered pairs will be, the ordered pairs which does not belong to the relation R, only those ordered pairs come under complementary relation. So whatever the ordered pairs we have in relation R, except that the remaining ordered pairs will be present in the relation R bar, that is complement relation. And next one is inverse relation. So from the relation R, how we are going to represent inverse relation means, so whatever the ordered pair we have in the relation R, that is if we have A comma B, then for that ordered pair we need to represent B comma A. So if 1 comma 2 is there, in inverse relation we are going to represent 2 comma 1. If 3 comma 4 is there, 4 comma 3 we need to represent. So whatever the ordered pairs we have in the relation R, if it is common also, 1 comma 1 is there, again we need to specify 1 comma 1. So whatever the ordered pairs we have in relation R, the opposite, by reversing those ordered pair, we are going to represent in the inverse relation, that is B comma A, such that if A comma B belongs to R, then we need to represent B comma A. In complement relation, if the ordered pair is not in relation R, then we will specify in the complement relation. Okay. So now we have completed relation, properties of relations and operations of relations. So now we will discuss the topic of representing relations. So how we are going to represent relations means, we have two methods for representing relations. So what are the two methods we have in representing relations means, the first method we are using is 0-1 matrix. So why we are saying 0-1 matrix means, in matrix representation with the help of zeros and ones we are going to represent. So when we represent 0 and when we represent 1, if the ordered pair is present in the relation R, then we specify 1, otherwise 0. So now we will discuss that. The other method which we are using to represent relations is directed graph, which we can call shortly as digraph. So here directed graph means, from which vertex to which vertex we are moving, we need to specify the direction also. Okay. So now we will see the first representation, that is matrix representation. So here this matrix representation we will call it as 0-1 matrix. So why we are saying 0-1 matrix? Since we are representing the matrix with zeros and ones. So when we will represent 0 and when we will represent 1, we will see now. So now if you take a relation A and B as two relations, and then so here in matrix representation, the matrix representation will be denoted as capital M suffix R, that is M suffix R, and this matrix representation of the relation contains the elements. So this is an element representation symbol. So here the element will be represented as M-I-J. So here I represent rows and J represents columns in this M-I-J. So here, so in rows how we are going to represent, and in columns how we are going to represent, we will see. So here how we are going to represent in matrix with the help of this means what are the conditions we are going to follow means if Mij is 1, that means the element in the matrix is 1, that means the ordered pair Ai comma Bj belongs to the relation R. That means that particular ordered pair is present in the relation R. And if Mij is 0, then that particular combination ordered pair is not present in the relation R. So here Mij is 1 if the ordered pair belongs to the relation R. If the ordered pair is not in the relation R, then we are going to specify 0 here. And same here, what are the properties we are going to apply for that matrix representation? Means the first property which we are going to apply is reflexive. So how we are going to check reflexive means if Mii is equal to 1. So all the diagonal elements will be 1 like this. This is reflexive. Next, R is symmetric. Second property which we are checking is symmetric property. That is, we can directly say that if the matrix which we have represented, if we find the transpose of that matrix also same, that means the matrix and the transpose of that matrix are same, then we can say that it is symmetric. So here this is the representation we are checking. And here the third property is anti-symmetric. So here if Mij is 0 and Mji is also 0 for all I not equal to j. That means except diagonal elements, if these conditions are satisfied for all the elements, then we can say that it is anti-symmetric. So this is the method we are following for representing anti-symmetric. So here if the position is 1, 0 and here 0, 1 and or we can consider both zeros. If these conditions are available in the matrix representation, we can say that it is anti-symmetric. So now see the example how we are going to represent the matrices. So here they have mentioned A equal to 1, 2, 3 as a one set and B equal to 1, 2 as another set. And they have given a relation R from A to B containing the ordered pairs A comma B. So we have ordered pairs as A comma B. If A belongs to A, B belongs to B. That means the element A belongs to the relation A and B belongs to the set B. And then they have specified one condition A greater than B. So based on this condition we are going to write the relation. After writing the relation, then only we are going to represent the matrix for this problem only, since they have specified A greater than B condition. Otherwise if they have given directly the relation, you can directly specify the matrix. So here what is the matrix representing R if A1 equal to 1, A2 equal to 2 and A3 equal to 3 and B1 equal to 1 and B2 equal to 2. So what we are going to do for this problem, first we need to find the relation R. So how we will get this relation? First, for the two sets A and B, first we need to find the Cartesian product. So how we are going to find the relation R? With the help of Cartesian product only. So here R is equal to A cross B. So here A cross B means how we are going to find? We will take the first element from A set and the second element will be taken from the B set. So that is the first element is 1 and the second element from the B set is 1, 1. Next first element is 1 in A and the second element is 2. And with this one we have completed all the combination of B set elements. Next we will take 2 from the first set and next first element from the second set. Next 2, 2. Next 3, 1, 3, 2. So these are the ordered pairs we are getting for the Cartesian product. So here from this only those ordered pairs we are going to take. with the condition A greater than B. So whatever the ordered pairs which satisfy this condition, only those ordered pairs we are going to consider. So here we are getting 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2. So here which ordered pair satisfy? So if you take the first ordered pair 1, 1, that is 1 greater than 1. So this condition is not satisfied. Next 1, 2. So here 1 greater than 2. Whether this condition satisfied? No. So that's why this ordered pair and this ordered pair will not in the relation R. Next 2, 1. 2 is greater than 1. 2 is greater than 1. So here since the condition is satisfied, this ordered pair we will have in the relation R. Next 2, 2. Since both the values are same, we doesn't have this relation. 3, 1, 3, 2. So here when comparing this, A value is greater than B value. So that's why 3, 1, 3, 2 is present in the relation R. And with the help of this relation, now we are going to represent the matrix form. So here how we are going to represent this matrix? In A we have 1, 2, 3 and B 1, 2. That means here we have 3 rows and 2 columns. So that's why we have taken first row, second row, third row, and we have taken 2 columns like this. Okay. Matrix representation, how we are going to represent means, since we have the values 1, 2, 3, we will take 1, 2, 3, 3 rows and the columns as 1, 2. The relation R contains the first ordered pair as 2, 1. That means here this will be row and this will be column value. So here this becomes I and this becomes J. So here I as we will consider I as rows and J as columns. So here 2, 1 means in second row first column the ordered pair is present. So we are replacing it as 1. And next 3, 1. 3 is in the third row first column. And next 3, 2 in the third row second element is present. And whatever the remaining elements we have, we doesn't have the remaining ordered pair elements, so we are directly placing as zeros. Since 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2 are not present in the relation R, we are specifying zeros and remaining places we have ones here. So that's why the same representation we have used. Okay, this is the solution for the given example. So next you can practice the assignment based on the representation of matrices. So see the problems. So these are the 2 problems we have. So here in this problem, first problem we have 2 sets, A and B as 2 sets, and they have represented matrix representation. So they have given in the problem as matrix representation. So what we need to write here? The ordered pairs. So for writing the ordered pairs, so here we will take A1, A2, A3 and next B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. So we need to write the ordered pairs for this problem. So whichever the value having 1, those ordered pairs only we are going to take the combination. So like here we have 1, that is A1, B2. Next here we have 1, that is A2, B1. Likewise you need to write all the ordered pairs. Next in the second problem, they have given a matrix and we need to check whether this matrix is satisfying reflexive property and symmetric property. So here how we are going to check the reflexive property? If the diagonal elements all are 1, then it is reflexive. Symmetric means the positions should be interchanged. That means for this matrix, if you find transpose of that matrix, if both the matrices are same, then we can say that it is symmetric. So you can do those problems. Next, we will see the second representation which we are using for relations, that is digraphs. So how we are going to represent digraphs means with the help of directions and along with vertices and edges. See here a directed graph, or we can say as digraph, which consists of vertices. Those vertices are represented with V letter, and along with that we are representing the ordered pairs of elements. So those ordered pairs, how we are going to represent means with the help of edges, that is represented with E. So that is called as edges. So the combination of vertices and edges will be called as a directed graph. And here in this directed graph, vertices and edges, we are going to represent as G as a graph, and here the ordered pair will be V comma E. So here the vertices which we are using and the edges we are how we are going to specify. So this is the graph representation. So here we have understood that we are going to represent the ordered pairs here from the directed graph, or from the ordered pairs we can draw the directed graph. So here for this finding the graph or drawing the directed graph, so here what we need to consider is first vertex A. Suppose if we have an ordered pair like A comma B, here A will be the initial vertex and B will be the terminal vertex. That means we will start from A and end with B. That means we are drawing an edge between A and B. That's why we have specified A as initial vertex and B as terminal vertex. And next, if we want to specify the ordered pair like A comma A, if we want to specify the ordered pair A comma A, how we are going to represent in case of directed graph means like loop. So that add arc, or we can call the edge as loop. That means if we want to specify the vertex A, means we need to specify with the self loop like this. So we will see this in the example. So here we have taken this as an example. So here the directed graph with vertices A, B, C and D. So here the vertices are A, B, C and D, and with the help of this, if we have vertices, we need edges to draw the directed graph. So what are the edges we have? A comma B, AD, BB, BD, CA, CB and DB. So we have vertices and we have edges. So now we need to draw the directed graph. So initially we have vertices. So first we need to take the vertices. So what are the vertices we have? Yes, A, B, C and D. So here the vertices will be taken like this: A, B, C and D. I have taken 4 vertices. Okay. And next we need to represent the edges with the help of these vertices. So what is the first one? Edge A comma B. That means between A and B we need to draw an edge. Edge is nothing but drawing a line between A and B. That means we are showing the path with the help of edges. That means we are moving from A to B. So A is the initial vertex here and B is the terminal vertex. Since we are moving from A to B, since it is a directed graph, we need to specify the direction also from where we are moving. So here, since we are moving from A to B, we are specifying the direction like this. So next, what is the next edge? A comma D. That means from A we are moving to D vertex. That is like this. And next B comma B. So here both the elements are same. That means if the both the elements are same, how we are going to represent in directed graph? Yes, good. With the help of loop. So that means from B itself we need to draw an arc like this and we need to specify the direction. So this is the symbol for loop. Next B comma D. So here from B we are moving to D with the direction we need to specify. Next from C to A. And next from C to B. Next ordered pair is C comma B. So from C to B we are moving. So we need to specify the direction also. And next the last ordered pair is D comma B. So already we have specified D comma B, but the direction is different. So we need to specify again. So we need to specify again the edge between D and B, and here the direction is different. Since the initial vertex is D and the terminal vertex is B, the direction will be opposite for this edge. So this is the directed graph for the given problem. So for any relation, they will specify a set and a relation. With the help of those two, we need to draw the graph. First, we need to specify all the vertices, and then with the help of edges, we need to draw the lines between those vertices, between initial and terminal vertex. Since it is a directed graph, we need to specify the direction also. So this is a directed graph for the given problem. So in some cases, they will give the directed graph and we need to write the relation. That is, we need to specify the ordered pairs with the help of this graph. In some cases, they will give relation, we need to draw the graph. Okay. Next, practice the problem on diagrams. So you can practice these two problems for directed graphs. So the next concept which we are discussing in today's class is n-array relations and their applications. So here, what is n-array relation? So before discussing this n-array relation, so for relations, as of now, we are taking either two sets or two relations. That is, nothing but we can call it as binary relation. So now we are discussing n-array relation. So here if we use two sets, then we can call it as binary relation. If we use three sets, then we call it as ternary relation. So suppose if we use n sets, we will call it as n-array relation. Okay. So here the best, we have seen the examples for binary relation. So for n-array relation, what are the examples which we are using in real time is a database. So here relations are used to represent computer databases. So here the relations are mainly helpful in creating a database and for using a database and for representing a relation between the tables. So what are the applications to represent in n-array relation and the binary relation? Means if we have a relation R, if we are using only three sets, then n. That means we are having only three combination ordered pairs. Three elements combination ordered pairs we will have in ternary relation. And if it is an n-array relation, we will have n elements in the ordered pair. So here n elements, how we are going to represent this in the case of databases? So here database is an example for n-array relation. So here in database it is made up of records. So why we are saying it as a records? See here, we have these as an examples for databases. So student records, health records, tax information, telephone directories, banking records. That means every day we are moving to bank. So every transaction what we are doing in bank, that will be considered one transaction as a one record in database. So that like that we will do many transactions. So how to store those n number of transactions? With the help of databases. So here student records, many students will be there in our university. So every student record will be considered as a one record, and all those information will be stored in one database like student database. And next, health records, many people will approach hospitals in our daily life. So every patient information will be considered as one record. Each patient will have one problem, and those problems will be recorded in a system, and each patient record will be considered as one data, and those n number of records of the patients will be stored in a database. So here what are the operations we are going to perform on databases? Means we can find records from the database. Based on the condition, we need to specify the condition. Based on that, we will retrieve the records with the help of this. And next, we can delete records, we can add records, we can update records. So these operations will be performed in the case of DBMS. we will come across the syntaxes and how we are going to find, how we are going to add, delete, update. We have syntaxes for all these operations. As of now, we are seeing only the basic basic description of database only. So now these are the applications which we have for databases. So here in database we can update the records, that is considering of n tuples. Tuples means nothing but n records made up of fields. So we will have for a student we will have a name, we have a roll number, we have a branch, we have marks of that particular student. So entire details will be stored in one database. So that's why we are saying that it is consists of fields. Next, here suppose if we have taken this as the information of the student. So see here, for a particular student we will have a name, metric number, faculty, GPA. So for one student we will have one information. So suppose if you have n number of students, for n number of students we will have n number of records. So that will be stored in one database like this. So we have 4 students in the example, we have 4 students, and for that 4 students we have the entire information. And here these for this data, these will be called as attributes. Okay. So here in relations, this all data will be stored in the form of tables. So in database we will store the data in the form of tables form. So now see an example. So this is an example for a simple database or one simple table. So here we have the information of the students, and now these are the attributes: name, metric number, department, and GPA will comes under the attributes. So here for this table, so we have 2 primary elements we have in after creating a database. So creating a database we are not showing here, but if after creating a database, what are the main functions we are going to check in database or table means, first one is primary key. So here primary key means which uniquely defines the value. The particular column or a row will be called as a primary key. So see here, primary key. An attribute or domain or column is a primary key when the value of this attribute uniquely defines tuples, then this particular column or value will be called as a primary key. So here with the help of that we are going to define the other elements in the table. So here no 2 tuples have the same value for that attribute. Unique is nothing but no common element will be there in that particular primary key column. Okay. Next, another key is composite key. Here in primary key we will consider only one column as a primary key. But here in composite key we will take the combination of attributes or combination of columns. So here in composite key we are going to consider the combination. So see here that uniquely defines tuples. In primary key, suppose if you take this table, so here name will be same for 2 or 3 students. So name will be a common column for some of the students, that means same name will be there. There is a chance of having same name. And here department is also maybe same. And here GPA will have the same like this 3.49, 3.49. But here when considering this table, metric number is a unique value here, unique column. So this will be the primary key. When comes to the composite key, there should be a combination. So here with the help of this metric number, if you take name as the combination, name and metric number, then this combination will be called as composite key. So primary key means only single column will be there, and when comes to the composite key there should be combination, that which uniquely defines the tuples. So what are the operations we are going to perform on databases means, we have taken two operations, one is selection and another one is join. So see here, First operation we have chosen is selection operation. How we are going to find? So this is the table we have. From this table we are going to select only some tuples from the table. So how we are going? Here we are applying the selection operation for this table with the condition GPA greater than 3.45. So we have applied the condition. So whoever the student having the GPA more than 3.45, only those records will be retrieved. So whatever the GPAs which have more than 3.45, we will be retrieved. So this is the output for the selection operation. Okay. So here more than 3.45, whoever have GPA, only those records we have retrieved with the help of selection operation. Next one is join operation. Join means we need to combine two tables. We need to combine two tables and we need to give the output. So see here we have taken two tables. So here we have some values and here we have some values. We need to join these two and we need to represent one table. So see here we are going to combine two tables or two relations together matching upon specific attributes. So here whenever we are joining, we need to match the specific attributes and then we need to print the result. See here we have lecturer attribute in this table, but here we doesn't have. Here we have department and here we have department and course we have. Only these two columns we have in this second table. But here with the help of this lecturer, we are going to combine the values in this second table. See here, lecturer Cruz is selecting the zoology. That means we have zoology, only these two we have. And next the course ID is 335. That means the lecturer will be Cruz. Here zoology, which is having the course ID as 335 and the room as A100 and the time is 9. So that will be represented. That will be comes in the output. Likewise, we are going to combine based on the attributes of the two tables and then we are going to get the result of that particular join operation. So here in joining operation, we need to take the help of two attributes in the both tables and we need to combine. So these are the two operations we are going to perform on databases, selection and join. Thank you all.